That's the microphone. Okay, good to see you guys. We're back in the studio, got the whole setup going on here once again. It has been a long time since I've sat down and talked to you guys, talked about some content creation stuff. We've obviously been away now for like 2+ months doing that world record project with Colin O'Brady, which if you haven't seen the film that I just recently put out, you guys should definitely go check that out. Put a lot of time and work into that, I'm pretty proud of it. So definitely go previous video. Anyways, we're back and we're now talking today about Instagram stories. I think it's really interesting over the last couple of years how Instagram has transformed stories into like its legitimate own platform. I mean, I feel like when stories first came out on Instagram, it almost seemed like they were just kind of trying to rip off Snapchat, but they started doing it and doing it right. And they've really made it this platform that's very freeing and very controllable, very creative in the sense that I think stories are super unique. And I think there's a lot of ways that people can really make themselves stand out. So I wanted to show you guys what I've been doing lately on Instagram stories to add a little bit more to them.
I got 2 balls, 1 for the plug and 1 for the load. I got 2 balls, 1 for the bitches and 1 for the load.
So if you guys are following me, staying up to date with the things that I'm doing, you might have seen over the last couple of months I've been posting some really cool, interesting little stories, some cool clips. All of those have been done on my phone with this one app called InShot. It's a free app, so for those of you out there who are concerned about that, you don't have to pay for it. It's super easy to use, and the great thing is it has a few of the very necessary tools when you're creating videos specifically for Instagram. So I wanted to take you guys through my quick and easy workflow within the app. It takes like 5 minutes, and it creates something that's a lot more interesting than just quickly recording a boomerang or a photo or something like that and throwing it up on your story. So before we actually get into the app and start doing some editing, you're actually going to record some clips on your phone. So if you're out doing something interesting where you would normally take a video or a boomerang, actually go into your phone's camera and record clips within there. If you have an iPhone, you can potentially do some slow-mo clips. Feel free to get creative. You're gonna shoot shots of if you were shooting B-roll for a video. You can actually compile multiple clips within this app. I'll show you that, but just go capture a little bit of content that you want to use for your story. So the first thing that we're gonna do is click the video button and then go through our library and select a clip that we wanna use. Now, if you plan to use multiple clips, you can do that once you're into the app, but you just have to select one clip to start. I was at the beach not too long ago and recorded this pretty cool clip of the sunset over the clouds, over the water. It was just kind of this interesting, sort of peaceful, sort of tranquil vibe that I wanted to capture and figured it'd be kind of cool to make a cool looking Instagram story out of it. So once you have your clip imported into the project, we're gonna see a couple of different things here. We obviously have the video, which we can start and stop. We have a variety of tools, a little toolbar here, and then think of this as a timeline. You can actually scrub this back and forth. And the next tool we have is Canvas. Probably hands down one of my favorite features about this app. And the reason being, if you've ever tried to take a video that you finished within Premiere Pro or Final Cut or something like that and put it on Instagram, Instagram doesn't natively support the standard 16:9 aspect ratio very well. It makes it really, really small within the feed. So more often than not, people usually crop their videos as a square or even sometimes that tall aspect ratio, the portrait aspect ratio, which is 4:5. And if you want to put something on your Instagram story, it generally crops it to 9:16, the really tall frame. But with this app, super, super simple. All we have to do is press the canvas button, and then from here, we can actually choose our aspect ratio. So of course we have the 1:1 crop. If we press this little square button over here on the middle left, it'll actually fit the clip to that particular aspect ratio. Of course we have 4:5, 16:9, 9:16. This is what we're gonna use for Instagram stories. You can actually use this slider to zoom in and out of the clip. So if you want it to fit perfectly in the middle, we'll just put it at 0. But we could actually zoom out a little bit and give it a nice white frame, or go the other way if we wanted to crop in on the clip a little bit. But for now, we're just gonna leave it at 0, hit the check mark. So the next tool that we're gonna use is the filter tool, which is also another really cool feature. It's probably the one you're gonna spend the most time in. Right off the bat, you're gonna see a bunch of filters that you can apply over the video. Think of these as LUTs. You're basically gonna plop them onto your video. You can kind of scroll through them, see which one looks the coolest. I personally really like film number 2. This is a classic kind of little faded teal and orange look. Just looks really cinema-like. So I really like to turn this one on. You can adjust the strength of the preset. So if it's way too strong for you, you can turn it down. There's a ton of options in here and they all look really cool. Oh, this one actually looks pretty tight. The next little panel is effect. Now this one is really interesting. It's gonna give you all of these different interesting kind of effects. For example, we have this TV effect. It's gonna give it this like retro, like TV static look. A little overkill. You can adjust the strength of it too with these little tabs here on the left. The effect convex is probably my favorite. It gives us this really sort of interesting like fisheye look. We can turn up the strength of it to kind of exaggerate it and see what it's doing here. But I really like it kind of like right at the middle, somewhere right around here. But there's a ton of different other effects in here. The next tab we have available is adjustments. From here, you're able to adjust a ton of different stuff. Of course, we've got lightness, contrast. We can go up or down with that. If we want it to be really super moody, we can kind of like brighten it up, darken it down. Actually, yeah, let's darken it a little bit and bring down the contrast just a little bit. Temperature slider, if we want it to be a little bit warmer or cooler. Saturation, I like kind of the desaturated look. The fade, everybody likes that classic faded look. We can continue to kind of work down through these tools, adjust the hue maybe just a little bit. Yeah, something like that. A vignette, not really necessary. Sharpen, video that comes directly from your phone is never really all that sharp, so to make it pop on Instagram stories, you can sharpen it just a little bit, make it a little more crispy. Another really cool feature of this app is we can actually add music to this video. So if we wanted to go in and add a track, they have a couple of built-in albums that you can select tracks from. But you actually do also have the ability of adding in your own music from your phone's library. Now, the one thing I will say is if you're using Apple Music for most of the music on your phone, if you have an iPhone, you can't actually use those tracks because they're licensed and copyright and all that stuff. But if you have the music downloaded on your phone, then you should be able to use it. But for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna use one of the built-in songs from one of these albums. And then we can also click on the song we just put in and specifically find a part that we want to use. So if you tap on it, you can actually kind of scrub around through the track, find a spot that sounds interesting. So now we can actually add stickers, which is, I think, kind of silly. We can also control the speed of the footage. So if we shot our footage in a high frame rate, like 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second, we can press the speed button, go in, slow it down, 0.5x if we wanted to do half speed, or we could go faster if we wanted to do a kind of like a time-lapse type thing. Once we're done, all we gotta do is tap the little button up in the top right corner and hit save, and it will begin to export the clip to your camera roll. Now, while that's exporting, I wanted to take a sec to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. Skillshare, I've talked about them before. They're this incredible online learning platform that has over, I think it's like 19 or 20,000 courses, all kinds of different things. They have stuff from learning photography and video, which is obviously beneficial to people like us, as well as things like business or technology, just tons of different courses. The cool thing about Skillshare is it's a subscription-based platform. So the premium membership starting at around $10 a month gets you access to literally the entire website and all courses. So if you're a person like me who's kind of interested in learning all kinds of different things, not necessarily just one, it's pretty beneficial. But of course, they've told me I can hook you guys up. The first 200 people to sign up with the link in the description are gonna get 2 months of premium for free. How much time do you have in 2 months? How many hours is that? Let's see, 60 days times 24 hours. That's 1,440 hours for you guys to be watching those courses and learning as much as you possibly can. So definitely sign up with the link in the description, 2 months free. Come on, you just go do it. So obviously what I just showed you guys is a super quick and simple workflow, but you can get really complex within that app. Like I said, you can add multiple clips into that timeline. You could start doing some crazy stuff where you're splitting clips and doing speed ramps, doing all kinds of different filters on each of the clips and different effects. I mean, you can go crazy in there. If you wanted to make a full-on video within that app, you could pretty much do it, especially the fact that you have control over all the audio and everything and the final output size resolution. You could make it for Instagram feed for 4:5. You could make it for the story at 9:16. If you wanted to upload it to YouTube, you could do the standard 16:9 aspect ratio. You can do everything within that app, which I think is pretty crazy for the fact that it's free. If you guys are interested in seeing a part 2 to this video of how to actually shoot interesting looking B-roll clips specifically for this process to upload them to Instagram to really take your stories to the next level, be sure to comment down below, and I'm happy to make that because I've honestly been doing these a whole bunch lately and I'm getting a ton of really great feedback from you guys. So it's been super fun to kind of challenge myself while I'm out doing my normal things where I would normally just quickly pull out my phone and take a boring little Instagram story or something like that and actually like spend 15 or 20 minutes to capture some clips and then make an edit on my phone, just kind of pushing myself as a creative. I think that's something people aren't doing often enough. They're restricting their creative abilities as a photographer, as a videographer, specifically for those like thought through projects. They don't actually go out and just sort of impromptu try things while just out in day-to-day life. So I've been using this as a tool to not only challenge myself as a creative and see what I can come up with, but just to kind of like continually kick a little bit of inspiration within my day-to-day life. It's kind of kept me a little bit more excited to get out and create with a real camera like my Sony a7 III instead of just my phone. So with that being said, I hope you guys get out and try this. It's a free app, you can download it, and it offers a lot. I'm pretty blown away the fact that it's free. So definitely download it. Definitely sign up for Skillshare too, by the way, because like that's another free opportunity for you guys to learn more things, get some benefit out of that. But with that being said, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm excited to be back and uploading content, kind of winding down for client related stuff this summer. So get ready for more stuff. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next video.